Welcome back to What the Fuck is Going On. Alright, let's wait for Karen.
I think I'm at DMC the reboot levels of just not caring about this world or its characters.
Nah, Jover, I disagree. At least in the DMC reboot, things were happening.
You know what?
God damn it, Jover, he has a point.
You know what? I'm actually going to agree with you on that, Dwibs. For as much as I really don't care for that reboot. And you know what? To be fair, I'm going to be honest. A lot of that reboot's problem is just about how it was touted by Tamim and how he really pissed off fans of the original. So part of that is due to that. Whereas this doesn't even have that. I don't really know much about these writers. For all I know, they could be legit nice. So, as far as I know, they didn't really say anything stupid during the advertising to alienate fans. No. It was just completely the game all on its own.
Alright.
So they conveniently cut away from him biting into the burger.
So, Mommy, you got some splaining to do.
Like I've mentioned, last part, we just had sporadic plot twist after sporadic plot
twist. Jova, don't wolf that down.
Sean, I do.
Come on, let's hear it.
Don't act all hurt. It's too late. Where were you when I broke my leg when I was 13?
Ditto.
Not with me. When Daniel got a bad flu a couple of years ago?
Keep in mind, her actions were so bad that even her biological parents renounced her for how she walked out on the family. So this would take an amazing big twist. It turns out she was secretly a superhero and just ran away to protect them from some evil aliens or something. And what? The story wouldn't go to that point.
Hey, Shiro, that time when you go on an adventure with your mom to get your brother out of a cult.
Your mother would have banned.
That was a normal experience you have at some point in your life.
No, wait, hold on. That's only part of the Your Mother Abandoned You expansion pack of life.
Ah, of course.
Nothing, Karen.
Okay.
I mean, what do you want from me?
How much does it cost?
A fucking hug?
Hey.
$19.99.
I did and why?
What, the year?
Alright, so she wants to explain herself. Let's hear her.
So, ask me anything.
AMA. Okay, so let's ask...
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
So what exactly are you doing in Nevada? You live around here?
No. I'm way out in Arizona. Sean...
Don't tell me she got a psychic vision.
Jacob.
There you go.
Oh, Jacob.
Jacob alerted her. Because remember, he saw her P.O. box address in Sean's notes in the diary. Because they found that in episode 2 in the house.
Just lizards and rocks.
Yes, I found something there.
Hey, now, my aunt and uncle live out in Arizona.
Didn't really do me good, so...
Also, lizards are cool. Shut up.
Damn, she insulted both your
Alright, so why...
relatives and your hometown.
Alright, the gold question. Why did you leave?
Oh.
I wasn't meant to be a wife or a mother. I thought I was supposed to. I tried to pretend for many years. But I wasn't happy. And the urge to leave just became unbearable.
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be understanding about that?
I'm sorry. Is there anything more?
Yes.
That can't seriously be it.
She's gonna try to explain herself further. So.
Never fool yourself, Sean. After I had Daniel, you were about 8, and Esteban's garage was getting busy. There was so much going on around me. Yet somehow I just felt that my own life was just slipping away. Felt like
it's almost like you have someone else to care for in your
It
life.
was the hardest decision I ever made. I knew I might never see you all again, but I took that responsibility.
I took that responsibility by abandoning you.
You see what I mean about the game trying its hardest to paint her story in a sympathetic light because she's being so apologetic about it.
Look,
But
sorry.
it wasn't about
You want to go first?
It was me.
Yeah, just real quick. You can't choose because that's the thing. She chose to have these children. This wasn't an accident. or due to, any unfortunate circumstances, she chose to have these children. You cannot cancel the subscription on motherhood at that point. You have to be a mother.
Yeah,
And if you
I
really,
was.
really wanted to leave them, at the very least, have the courage to say it to their faces. This isn't working.
Oh, this
You
one.
just-
I'm sorry, Java. I didn't have a choice. Of course you had a choice. You could not do it. Go on, Java. Sorry, I had to comment on that. Go on.
Thinking
Also, I love how she essentially just put the YOLO thing right in front of him.
was my mistake.
It's like, I didn't want to do this anymore. I was
YOLO!
my life being your mother. Bye.
Caring about you.
Like,
I mean, you
The
could
thing
You
have
is-
obviously
told them.
did. You didn't contact them. You didn't send them any gifts or money. You didn't visit them in the hospital. You did stop caring about
And
them.
now she's saying she's trying
Fuck
to
you.
do something, and I picked too fucking late.
Too fucking late for that shit.
Exactly.
let me guess,
Yeah.
despite
No matter what,
picking that, the story
left your
will,
own
of course,
kid.
have
My
Sean and
dad.
Daniel forgive her eventually.
I know it's too late.
Although to be fair,
I know how I
To be fair, you can choose still not to forgive her completely, but Sean will forcibly be nicer to her in episode 5, even if you pick all the choices against it.
Wow.
Is it more forced to be nice to her, or is he just doing general pleasantries?
Like he stops being as aggressive to her as he is being right now. I don't know if
Question.
I don't know if
He's not even being aggressive. He's right.
okay
angry.
okay fine. He stops being angry at her, if that helps you.
Question. Is it a case like where you can at least tell different tones in the choices, or is the dialogue in Chapter 5 always the same for him?
I'll explain that to you when we actually get to episode 5. For now, let's just focus on this.
Oh my god, might they actually be respecting our choices for once?
Don't hold your breath.
the time.
So, please tell me there's something more to justify her actions, because if that's her case, essentially, oh, well, I wanted to be a mother, but then I realized I was just fooling
There you go. I'm gonna
myself."
ask now. Okay, so the first question: why ghost us? There you go, Shira. Here's the question: why did you ghost
Like
us?
Stuff. Okay, but why would you ghost us like that? Not even a fucking birthday card.
I thought if I vanished, you would all move on.
Hey, guys!
Are you fucking serious, guy?
Almost did.
Lady, have you not seen a soap opera drama? Like, have you not read a book in the last 10 years to know that, if anything, that is the kind of cliche crap that scars kids?
Yeah, funny enough, Joe, the Doctor Who did this kind of plot line.
Fair to any
Oh,
of you.
boo-hoo, you didn't want to be a part-time pissed mom. No, be a mom of some sort.
Look, here's the answer to that problem, Karen. Tough.
It was in the.
No,
It
seriously.
was in an episode called Resolution,
Cool
in
plan,
case you're
Mom.
wondering.
You hurt Daniel way worse.
Yes, Shira. Go on.
Thought you took off.
No, that I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, tough shit, Karen. Tough shit.
Tough.
Up to you,
Also,
Dan.
don't want to be a
Someday.
part-time mom.
Except
Well,
for getting his ass
gee,
kicked
oh,
by Church.
that's nice. You see, I didn't want to half-ass it as a mom, so I decided to take no half measures. Just completely walk
next
out
question.
of your life.
But I totally cared about you, I swear.
Did you miss us? Oh, there you go, Shira. Let's ask that. Did you miss us?
Miss us? Or Dad?
Of
All
course.
the
Sean.
time.
I don't believe her.
I cannot even begin to believe this character.
My God, I've heard better excuses from kindergartners.
He could brighten up a rainy day.
It's amazing to me how there's not a single plot element in this game aside from the Captain Spirit stuff that's well executed.
See how
You know,
Look.
I missed sharing these moments with you, Sean.
I'll just say quickly. You know, for as
Yeah.
bad as the religious fanaticism thing was, this is actually worse writing. Good God.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
question.
Expect you to believe,
Okay.
but I mean,
The mom is clearly being portrayed as someone who is conflicted, yet obviously he don't believe her. So what's the issue?
My problem, Dwebs, is that as you're going to see when we get to episode 5, the game is going to try to push you into forgiving her. You can still choose not to forgive her completely, but the game is going to try to lean you into that direction as you're going to see when we get to episode 5.
Okay, the thing is, Dwebs, it's a smaller, but in some ways more potent thing of what they were doing with Chloe in the first Life is Strange game. The narrative has a terrible person that they're trying to convince us is actually not a bad
I'm sorry, John, I have to
person.
comment on what she just said. Oh, and so your life doesn't involve a wife and a kid. Yeah, it does to some people, and I totally respect that. But I just had to make my own life and shit like that. So she realized that the life of a wife with kids was not for her. Too fucking late, lady.
You're about to say, Shiroi?
Sorry, go on.
But it all just looked like a sweet golden jail.
I'm trying to think now. I lost it.
Sweet golden jail? Tried to escape. Yeah, no, sounds immature.
Oh yeah, it was. Look, like
I think I pick worth it. Sorry, Jova.
No, go on, Shiroi.
I've never been a mother, and I'm not gonna be a mother. But I know being a mother is a very difficult job. And yes, sometimes mothers do need a break from that kind of life. And typically when they need that, the father or the babysitter, if, you know, they're a single mother, looks after the kid while they go on a holiday for like a long weekend. Not disappear to a completely different fucking state and not contact their kids.
Yeah.
Don't you see, Shiroi? It was a really long vacation she was taking.
It also has to.
I mean, there was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode that did this kind of thing as well, isn't it?
They handled it better.
I would have to watch it again. It's been a while. The other thing, Dwebs, is that
Jova's right.
you also that's the other thing as well, Dwebs. See, the thing is, look how apologetic she's been about the whole thing and trying to be so nice and try to make peace and everything. So the game is clearly trying to push you in the direction of trying to, you know, she's trying to. Oh, but don't you see? I just couldn't handle it. I'm sorry. I'm blah blah blah. It's just
Let me put it like this. Compare how the narrative is portraying her to how the narrative portrayed the evil religious folk. And it's clear which one the narrative actually wants us to hate.
Yeah, the game clearly wants you to hate the religious people, but like this one.
It's because for the point of when it comes to this scene, I did kind of interpret your comments to mean character being a shitty person means bad writing.
No,
that's not what we're saying at all. The problem, Dwebs, is that the character is a shitty person, but the game is trying to paint her in a positive light. That's the problem.
And look, if a player does want to forgive her, that's fine. But man, you can tell when the narrative really does have an agenda on this and that. And again, if Pedro is to be believed, even if we try to not forgive her, it doesn't sound like the dialogue changes too much in regards to how Daniel treats her, if it changes at all.
Let me give you a little sneak peek. I can say this without spoiling anything. There's going to be a point in episode 5 where she tries to, you know, put her hand on Sean's hand and, you know, try to make peace and everything. And you can choose to either put your other hand on her as well and basically forgive her completely, or you can choose not just to say, take your hand off and just say, well, I guess we got to go now and shit like that. It's like not necessarily be angry at her, but that's basically it. Like, but the point is, but you cannot stay mad at her if that's what you're asking.
I guess the idea would be, don't let anger rule you and all. But man, it feels like she gets.
Look what I said. Look what I said saying. Oh, I can't change the past of what I did, but this is about helping your brother.
You gotta trust me.
Basically, the idea that they're going to try to do, just to give you an idea later, if you do go for the forgiveness route, you can actually have, Sean say, you know what? You've helped me rescue Daniel, and you've been for us throughout this past month. That means a lot. That means quite a bit still. And shit like that. So basically, it's one of those things. Basically, remember, Dwebs, she saved Sean, and now she's going to help us against the evil religious people, and she's going to take us out of here and put us in a place where we can rest and hide away from the police. So, it also has to do, Shira, think about this for a moment, Shira, as well. She just said that she also ran away from her parents' house because, as she put it, it seemed like a sweet golden jail to her. And she preferred to just live free, completely out of the system and shit like that. Yet again, another authority/system is bad.
You should have never had children.
And it's like,
No.
I'm sorry, but you're comparing life with your kids to that of a jail. Nice thing to say to your son who has
Yeah, that
clearly
too.
been through a lot of pain. Well, it's not that I hate you, but I also saw you as part of the jail keeping me down, so... Bye.
There's also that's the thing, Shiro. Like the game is trying to go for a whole. Oh, I thought this was what I wanted, but then turns out it wasn't.
I mean, that's something you say about buying a video game
Clothes or something.
TV or
Like,
something.
not having babies.
Like, and I'm sorry,
Oh my
and I'm
God.
sorry. And I'm sorry, maybe it might sound cynical of me, but this reeks of double standards, because,
How do I
you know, usually in media, whenever a man does this sort of stuff, he is portrayed as nothing but horrendous, disgusting, and dirty, essentially.
Again, that's the thing, Joe, where that Doctor
ready
Who
to get
episode I mentioned when he did that thing. The deadbeat is the dad, and he's not wholly portrayed as a dickhead, but they do call him out on...
To be fair, we were talking about Shazam earlier. Billy's biological mother in that movie is portrayed in a negative light. So
Like, she's even like, I don't want to, like, she doesn't want to see him. Like, she says, not in those exact words, but like, she makes it clear that, you know, she's
yeah. And the movie portrays, and the movie clearly poses her as a bad person. So
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm guessing Karen pretty much fractured the fan base in half. Oh my god. Punished John. A man
You're not-
denied his brother.
and I wish I was playing Metal Gear right now.
What a thrill.
What if the darkness and silence through the night?
When you guys, when you say Metal Gear, does that include Survive?
Amazing people too.
No.
No.
I mean, you said Metal
That game
Gear, you
didn't survive, that's the problem.
You said Metal Gear, you didn't specify which one.
Fine, Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid for...
That eye patch is not as cool.
I love how when she asks us, she just asks us, so how's Daniel? Like, as in, how is he? Like, what kind of kitty is he? Unfortunately, there's not an option for he's an annoying shit stain, so I picked for the one that's the closest to that, which is a little rascal. A little rascal? Sean, I'm
I mean,
afraid...
that's basically like saying he's
A little rascal? That's an understatement of the fucking century. Anyway, alright.
Yeah, it's like comparing. Actually, no. I was gonna make a Dennis the Menace UK US joke.
Yeah, what were you thinking, Jake? Explain.
Nowhere else to go. Listen, I saw Daniel come back to the camp that night. Like, he was in shock or something. Then I heard all these sirens, and I got scared. I packed a few things, I took a blanket from your tent, and we left together.
So let me get this straight. And your first place of thinking, where should I take Daniel was to the place that you originally ran away from.
You did, right?
How does that make any
You
sense?
have no idea.
But you picked you did right.
Okay. To Jacob's credit,
Gunshot wound.
given
All by himself.
all that had
I
happened,
couldn't just
and you
leave him
know
there.
how it was all flash blur of the moment, it was probably the most rational thing he could
So,
think of at the
He came back
moment.
here after you
That's the thing, Jova.
You know, at the
Sorry, go on. No, go on. Finish.
and like at the very least, he was concerned for Daniel's safety. Like, and again, aside from the obvious craziness of the people, it seems like they're not treating Daniel badly per se. Oh, don't get me wrong. We know they're evil, but
Oh.
at least there's no sign that they're mistreating.
I
Daniel.
can help you there, Jova. Yes, they don't mistreat Daniel, but as you're going to learn, the reason he originally left this community to begin with was because he was being horribly mistreated. When you learn that, it's suddenly you have to ask, then why the fuck did you come back here to begin with then?
You know, that's about a storytelling where at first it seems like there's a good idea, but then when you actually get a later plot detail, it actually makes the story worse.
Yep.
Bravo, game.
Did you
Bravo.
even try to stop her? Sean, stop it.
Wow, I love how sporadic
think I
Sean
wrote to
can
your
be
mother?
in this conversation. 1 minute you did right, next, oh my god, strangles him.
To be fair, this is a quirk of all these kinds of games, these narrative-driven choice, and this is something that happens in Telltale games, in David Cage games, in these games. This is just a quirk of this genre. To be fair.
Okay.
You want to know what takes the
I
cake?
don't know if you want to do this.
L.A. Noir,
but
a Dwibs,
I have
X
an
to
idea.
doubt. You did it, didn't
I
you?
think school should be over by now. But Lisbeth was still
Okay.
That'll give us
Okay, well,
time to
okay,
sneak
also,
into the
okay,
compound
I'm not
before we
quite
get to
considering LA Noir has its own stupid plot twists. Is that
Oh,
really the best comparison to make?
Sounds
Well,
good.
Dwibs, we're
do you
talking
think?
specifically about how sporadic conversations can be based off of player
we have to
choice.
get my
Like,
sister
you
to
know, L.A. Noir was
Sarah Lee.
infamous because the
You,
first
Jacob?
edition of the game,
Come
you
on,
know,
man.
X
She's
to
good, you're
doubt, suddenly
know.
could skyrocket into
Please,
practically
listen, Sean.
accusations due to the
She's not
misnaming
safe
of it,
here.
which is due to the
She's sick.
game's
Yeah,
own
how it
rather
can sound-
sporadic
Everything Lisbeth
developments.
says.
How it can sound more
She said she'll
accusation.
cure
Oh, there you go. See, he just said, Elizabeth thinks she'll cure Sarah with prayers. Remember the sick girl?
We need his
There,
help.
she's
A
literally
couple of steps away from being televangelist.
she's literally trying to heal a fucking cold and cough and fever, whatever Sarah has, with prayers. I cannot even begin to
So
understand
you
this.
confirmed what I was wondering, Cole.
Yeah, as like I said,
Fine.
they're only a couple of
She's
steps
gonna
away
trust
from being
you.
flat out televangelist. I'm surprised they're not trying to sell Sarah those fake liquids or something.
I know, right? Why not at this point? Come
Just
on.
so that you know, in church, you know, we usually ask for faith in the doctors or whatnot to handle this. It's not like we think that faith alone will heal sickness. And keep in mind also, you know, one thing a lot of churches listen to in medical terms during the pandemic, they made sure not to have people group. They resorted to streaming. Just saying. Just saying, religious people can respect science and, you know the difference between that and fantasy writers.
I don't think these writers are aware of that, Jova. Go on, Shiri.
Like I've asked.
Oh no,
what
no, I
planet are they
I just heard Jova wanted to say some things, so I prompted.
Okay.
Like, and yes, I get it. This is just a specific cult or whatnot, but I don't know. Even by evil religious cult standards, the writing just does not feel there.
Not to mention Jova, based on how this game has been written up until this point, do you really believe there's some in the mind of these writers? This is only applicable to this religious community, considering how generalizing these writers have been throughout the entire game. I mean,
The only thing I have to go off of is that the grandparents were religious and they didn't make them religious nuts.
yeah. Let's think about this for a moment,
Aside
Jova.
from-
Let's think about this for a
but
moment.
admittedly,
Sorry, go on.
But admittedly, aside from the grandparents, yeah, every notably religious person we've seen in this game is, well, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, like Jova said, yes, the grandparents are fortunately, okay. But let's think about this for a moment. They generalize every racist as an evil, raging lunatic. They generalize every authority figure as evil, unfair, and exploitative, and, well, whatever, like all the bad things you can
The
exaggerate.
Reverend also falls under too.
Exactly. So let's face it, Jova. Do we really count on these writers not to generalize when it comes to religious people? I have lost any kind of faith in these writers. Sorry.
Also, it was pretty easy for us to get back into the property.
Yeah, that's because Jacob is actually part of the community, so he can basically put a word for us. To be fair, so this actually does make sense somewhat.
What are you doing here?
Fair enough, though. You'd think that the people would be wanting to watch out for the literal brother of their supposed messiah. Well, I mean, you know, the people who are in the know to keep Sean out.
No,
Or is it literally just the Reverend and that one
My
guy?
dad just.
That's the thing, Jova. As you're going to see throughout the various collectibles, everybody in this community loves Lisbeth and follows her guidance.
And he
So all I can assume is that they do everything she demands from them. So it's,
Right,
I mean,
that's the best name of the Reverend.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, we don't see every single one of those people in that room from before doing all this at the same time. True, but do you really trust these writers not to do that?
Oh, don't you see, Pedro? If they're not religious fanatics, they're just sheep.
Ah, of course. Because, because obviously anyone who disagrees with me is evil and should be, well, you get where I'm going with this.
Look, don't get me wrong. I get it. There are some religious people who have done bad things. But guess what? There are atheists who have done bad things.
Obviously.
Off of lack of faith or whatnot. Like, yes, there are people who do bad stuff on faith. Why, in a lot of media, do writers let that negate the plenty of religious people who still, actually respect their faith for good? And
Because
granted...
it's an easy thing for them to reach for.
And granted, to be fair, even actual Christians aren't the best at making movies to make us exactly look good.
Alright, let me...
I'll say this.
Sorry, go on.
Like, a movie like Honk for Jesus, though, that's actually a good movie in showing, hey, not all religious people are nuts. It does show how religion can be exploited, but doesn't act like it's inherently evil either.
Alright, let me quickly recap. Basically, the reason we're here is in Lisbeth's house is because Lisbeth has her medical files, Sarah, and Jacob is actually Sarah's older brother, and he wants to take her away from here to save her and actually get her medical treatment.
You're telling me that Lisbeth is so evil that she's literally hiding the medical files?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Is Lisbeth Sarah's mom by chance?
No, she is not. Not that the game tells us, at least.
So who is Jacob and Sarah's mother and
We
father?
don't know. We never meet him.
But she's so evil that she is keeping the medical records hidden, which means she knows the problems this girl.
Let me put it this way.
So like,
we do know one thing that their parents did to Jacob, as you're about to hear in a moment. Okay.
To think what that is.
Let me just
ask.
let me just take over for this part, Jova, because there's some collectibles here that I want to read aloud so that Shira can hear it. Because some of these have some telling information about Lisbeth. No, not this drawer. Let's go into another one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, my only
Was it
question.
one of the dorm rooms, I guess.
No. It was a drawer
this
full
is
of bras and
Lisbeth's
shit
home.
and underwear.
don't see anything of interest.
Basically, this is Lisbeth's home.
Yeah, basically.
But hold on. Does Lisbeth actually believe in this?
Oh, here you
or
go.
does she
Dear
not?
Reverend Fisher, this is Michael Bloom, and I know it's been a long time since we last talked, and I know that our talk was not a happy one, despite our spirit being reckoned with. Nobody has been surprised with all the words, with these touching. I hope you believe it when we say we're all proud of you, but we're also sorry and ashamed for asking you to lead the church without understanding the power of your faith. As we need to remind ourselves, mistakes can be life lessons. Even prideful deacons should be humble before the Lord's wisdom, and hope you find it in your heart to forgive us. And so basically, she was kicked out of her previous church.
Okay, so I guess to the game's credit, it shows that even other religious folk realize she is absolute wackadoodle. So I'm guessing that this is essentially her own religion with blackjack and hookers.
I guess, yeah.
Honestly, Jova, that's such a small, missable detail.
It is. Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised
not just that.
if it was legit.
Not just that, Jova. I will acknowledge that detail's existence. But at the same time, I'm going to press X to doubt because at this point, I just cannot believe the writers. I don't believe them, to be honest
Like
with
you
you.
said, it's a very easy to miss detail, which is not required.
Thank you so much for telling me about Daniel. I'm on my way to Haven Point now, and please let Daniel know, without getting anyone in trouble, that his family has not forgotten him. I don't know where Sean is, and I hope we can find him too. So basically, this was Karen's reply to Jacob's letter. I hope the best for you, and if you need anything...
Intercepted by Lisbeth.
Exactly. I don't know why exactly Lisbeth does not want Karen to meet Daniel. As far as she knows, Karen has nothing against Daniel being here.
No, I got it. She's not a believer, and non-believers don't deserve to be happy.
How
Well,
would she know that without meeting Karen?
that's a good point. I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's like, I mean, so, to be fair to you, Pedro, for all we know, that could have just been another writer going, oh crap, we actually need to give some nuances.
Yeah.
That whole detail could have been a last minute.
It feels like, yeah, that detail, the inclusion of that detail, as Shiro would say, feels insincere. If the game really wanted to make it clear they're not trying to paint all religious people like this, then they should have done a better job of that instead of just throwing in that little cookie that's easily missable.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not even mandatory viewing. Like it's.
Okay, I suppose their logic was. Well, I mean, it's obvious we don't think all religions are like this. Do we have to make it that obvious?
Yes, because we cannot read the writer's mind, so he has to convey things to us.
Also, it's kind of ironic given how everything else they pretty much have given with the subtlety of a sledgehammer to the face, so that would be funny if this is the one thing they decided to be subtle on.
I mean, up until this point, Dwibs, the game has handled its storytelling with all the subtlety and tact of a fucking brick. Why start being subtle now?
I mean, it'd be like if in Eyes Wide Shut there's a scene somebody says, "Oh no, not all people that meet up in cults like this are bad."
Well,
but let's talk about the writing of Lisbeth herself. So wait, if she actually believes in her own bullcrap, why is she hiding the medical documents? Like, what good would hiding them have to do? People shouldn't even believe them. She shouldn't believe it, so why hide it?
Simple.
Oh, right, because it's a convenient way to have it in her home when we go search for it.
Not just that, Jova, it's also another way to paint her in as much of a negative light as we can, because we cannot stand authority figures of any kind.
Even if it defies even the logic of the story itself.
Of course. Well, remember, we already did this with Meryl, like you pointed out in episode 3, so... basically, this woman went back to Haven Point to see Daniel do his miracles in live. Oh my god, my faith has returned. I was losing. My faith was coming back, and blah 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 blah. I'll just put it this way: if all it takes for whatever, I think Joe already addressed this, so you know what? Fuck it, I abort my argument. The point is, this plot is just ridiculous. Okay, so basically, we're looking for the medical files. Oh, and by the way, Sheila, while you were gone, guess what? Jacob finally explained to us why he brought Daniel back here. Because he panicked, and they just had to get out of there. At the end of episode 3, right?
It was probably the first place he thought of to like.
That being said, Shiroi, as you're about to see, him thinking this would be a good place to bring Daniel, being a good idea, would make no sense from his perspective, as you're about to hear, because Jacob was horribly mistreated while being here last time, that's the whole reason why he ran away to begin with.
Now, to the credit of the story, we don't know that yet. So
Sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
And creepy.
But as for what Dibs was saying earlier, if they had sprinkled other things throughout this chapter to say that this particular woman was cuckoo, then okay, that would be a lot better. But it's one little piece of law that's not even mandatory. Like, I'm somebody who I like compulsive examining in video games. So it's like, I would find it. Pedro found it, and yeah, and a lot of people would, but a lot of people also won't. It's an easily missed thing.
Book of Daniel.
They just needed to put more nuggets of information about this woman, being kicked out of other churches before. They just needed to add more is all, and they just didn't, and that's why we're having the complaints that we are, but that's it.
Also, to be fair, hold on. Also,
to be fair, started speaking first, actually.
Well, I was just going to say the Book of Daniel actually is a chapter in the Bible.
Oh, I know. It's just that it's so on the nose. Go on, Dubs.
Alright, well, my thing is, I flat out, okay, a story should only put in what is absolutely necessary for it to be told properly. I don't want it to throw in, every single minute detail, whether it's important or not. Otherwise, we'll end up with a movie that I think CinemaSins might like, but to everyone else, it's like, okay, this feels more like an encyclopedia than a story.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
I think it's important here, though, because the woman in question is our villain for this chapter.
Not to mention that works for a movie. In a game, you can do a lot more, though. So that logic only works for movies, though.
Also, keep in mind, it's an important plot detail that actually adds nuance that lets us know that the writers don't think that religious folks are normally insane and that the sane ones aren't the norm.
All right.
Like, that is an important detail.
So we finally got into the file cabinet thingy. Let's find our stuff about it. The sister should be in here somewhere.
Okay, I've got something.
All right, pay attention, Shiroi, because you're not gonna like this.
Implying we've liked anything so far?
Well, yeah, true, but
Okay, so she has pneumonia.
yeah.
Okay.
From what I get, Lisbeth knows damn well she needs medical treatment.
That's criminal. She's
No
insane.
duh.
Look, she has a file on you too.
Here we go.
You can take a peek and see how she really treats her flock.
Let me guess, she's like, she
What's all
pours
this?
kids out to pedophiles.
Like-
No.
Sick? Conversion therapy? Do they
Great, let's throw that in there while we're at it.
want to cure you from being...
Pretty much.
Oh boy, okay, they're adding this now too, because why not?
Okay, that is a legit issue.
Oh, it is.
Around here, it's. I mean, round here, we're still okay. We've got okay. We're starting. Okay, our government is at least starting to ban conversion therapy for I think at least
Mom and Dad.
gay people.
So did I.
Yeah, I know.
As it stopped trying to quote
Really
convert
did
gay
what they
people.
Yeah.
But we're still working on the rest.
See, the thing is, the problem is that this is an issue that should be explored in its own story instead of just being thrown in here just to make us hate the villain even more.
Not good.
Can I
Yeah.
say
Just
Yeah?
prayed all the time.
a couple of things?
Something
This
like
doesn't
this.
make any sense considering earlier on in the, I think it was the optional sermon
Got the
that you
text.
came across, where they were talking about supporting you no matter your walk
After
of
a few
life.
years,
So that's been shut down right
I was in a
here.
really bad
And
Yeah, what
also,
was that bit?
I tried to hurt
and
myself.
also, I know this
Elizabeth
is
was very upset.
a
We had a
bit
long
better.
chat.
It's still
She
shit, but it's
told
kind of
me I
like
should
they're
leave.
doing the whole Xenogears thing, where they're
see
just
the
shoving all
world
the bad
and figure
shit
things
into a pot and letting it simmer. As far as
Take care,
religion
Sean.
goes, like
Good lord.
it was a lot worse in Xenogears, mind you, because they were reaching for the they were reaching for the back of the shelf with that one. But like here, it is still
sorry
like a
I brought
weird
you here.
amalgamation of
I was just
all the
like-
bad
blown
shit,
away when
and
I
it's
saw
like,
what you
oh,
could
it's
do.
all like
It was
this,
like a real
and
miracle.
It's one of those.
Shuri raises a good point that goes back to my point on how sporadic the twist of the church's evil was. Like, again, even though they didn't subtitle all of it, the sermon was about,
And let's make
people
things right.
accepting others, like, well,
just have to get
something
Daniel
you would hear in a generally sane church.
Hey,
So,
Jova, maybe that's why there's no subtitles, because people understanding it would be counterproductive to the story they're telling.
like, I mean, it's like, again, it wasn't even like the turn to evil was foreshadowed. It's just like they flipped a switch from decent, good people to suddenly Lisbeth is
do that.
evil, uber
That's a lot of
evil.
We're okay.
Yep.
We'll
Jova, so far every single antagonist has been cartoonishly evil. Why stop now? Like,
I think if I haven't before, I can sum it up as what it is: shock value.
Yep.
It's essentially there to make people gasp, clutch their pearls, and automatically denounce the designated villain, essentially.
basically, yep. Exactly that. Not just that, to recap real quick, Shiroi, Jacob, just now when explaining things to Sean, also mentioned that Elizabeth started the whole conversion therapy thing for Jacob, and the parents allowed it. So, even though it is true that we don't see the entire community acting this way, what information the game does give you does imply that pretty much everybody in the community follows whatever Elizabeth says. So,
Honestly, considering that they've practically used every crime churches have committed in the past, I'm honestly surprised they didn't do the whole
Pedophilia.
that.
like why stop now at this point? Like at this point,
I
just
thought you were gonna say, hold on to that for a moment.
Like, I mean, and I wouldn't even be surprised. And, like, it's just so lazy. Like, I can't even really garner myself to get mad at it. Because, yeah, no, I've seen plenty of times where religion is portrayed as evil, hunky-dory evil. And, like, sure, I said it was arguably done even worse in Xenogears. But, man, at least Xenogears had something else to say.
And Xenogears, at the very least, was still an overall good story, despite its issues. That had good intentions and was trying. It didn't always succeed at everything, but it was trying, and it was clear that the people who were making it had good intentions. I don't trust these guys' intentions. I think these guys are terrible at their job. They should never work on a video game ever again, in my opinion, because they suck at it. They just plain suck at it. I'm sorry. They're not good.
What is that?
What is what? Sorry.
Sean.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat that? What was what? Sorry.
No, the noise in the background. What's
that. Basically, I asked Karen to create a diversion to help us not get caught by that guy.
Oh, boy.
And now, guys, guess what?
Yeah.
Time to confront the evil Lisbeth. And
Wait, already?
yes.
Wait, seriously? But that would imply that the chapter is almost over.
Yeah, the chapter's gonna be done in this part.
Oh my god! People legit had to wait months for these chapters. Whoa!
That's what Karen did. She put that fire burning in order to. Okay, Karen, I appreciate the
Who
diversion.
hired Rachel?
Karen, I appreciate the diversion, but couldn't you do something else than that?
Wait, Shuri, it all makes sense now. Rachel faked her death, and she's actually Karen.
This is gonna cause a forest fire, like.
That's the thing. I'm sorry.
In a desert.
Hold on, Dibs. I have to point this out real quick. Notice how that building is distinctively far enough away from the church that we're going into right now, right?
Convenient.
No.
Okay, maybe not a forest fire, Dwibs, but there are plenty of trees.
No, trust me, Jova. I'm pointing this out for a good reason. Notice how the fire is just for that building that's like at least 3 blocks away from where we are right now, right?
Yeah.
Keep that in mind during the rest of this chapter.
It's gonna make its way to the church, isn't it?
Yeah, is the fire gonna like move around?
I'm not kidding you. The church literally catches fire for no seemingly reason.
Okay, maybe if the wind blew the fire enough so that it catches on to the trees and then the houses,
Yeah.
maybe. But
That
we're not gonna
fast,
actually
though?
see that happen.
No.
I was gonna say earlier. I know Pedro at least would be. I know Pedro at least would be more appreciative that this chapter's at least very short.
Oh yeah, well, that's the thing, Dwibs. I find this chapter hilarious, so I'm actually not too bothered by this.
It's just wow. Again,
the fucking cat.
Servant and will obey your every command. Speak to me.
It's done.
I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously. Shira, can you even take this seriously?
Is there gonna be a sky beam at some point?
Nano, little cub.
This is so silly. All right, now,
We're leaving.
come on, Daniel, we're leaving.
Sorry, Sean. I can't.
It's against my better judgment, but yeah, you're coming with us.
She's using you.
Daniel
Yeah,
has made his choice.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Daniel sides with her.
why?
Okay, the game tries to pose it that she's been quote-unquote brainwashing him, but he's only been here for a couple months. Are you honestly telling me that already every supposed tie he has to Sean has already been dismantled?
Well, brainwashing works. Brainwashing can be really fast and also really slow.
Well, here's my question though. Maybe if they showed us how her brainwashing works, we could buy it. It's just. It feels like more lip service as opposed to us actually understanding why things are the way they are.
Praise the Lord.
Wait. Is Sean trying to use the fact that their mother came for them as a reason for Daniel to come with them? Like,
well, okay, to be fair,
it,
remember, Daniel was very desperate to find Karen, so I can see that being a good way to do it, to be fair.
Of course.
I guess I could take it as Sean being desperate enough to do that.
That too, yeah.
It feels jarring.
Thank you.
That's in the eye of the beholder.
Well, that's the most sensible thing
Really?
you said.
Mother, let me ask you, how could you let your child wander alone in
I forgot.
No, again.
Who's the villain here?
Who's the yeah? I know, right? Who's the villain in this?
Again. I know the game wants us to hate her. It's made that abundantly clear, but it keeps giving her legit good points against these people.
Are a gift
That's when you know the writing is bad.
they are a reward.
It's like, and again, they conveniently have bits where we're supposed to hate her. Like, okay, look, in a better script, I could say, okay, she's a villain, but they're giving her nuance and making good points. But given the actual writing quality of this game, I just chalk it up to the writers are inconsistent and give her only occasionally those lines when they specifically want to somehow give the characters we're supposed to like supposed depth. Before immediately turning her back to cartoony Saturday morning cartoon villain.
You left them and your husband to seek out your base.
That is true.
He is exactly correct.
Think
I mean, even after all that, I'm still willing to say, okay, yes, the mom handled everything completely wrong, but
She's still better than Lisbeth, yeah.
Accident.
but she's still better than the active criminal.
Well, Dwebs, should I really
Well, that's
applaud?
okay.
Should I really applaud her for that?
No,
And also
but
keep-
but
keep
it's
in
still
mind,
better than
Wibbs.
nothing.
Keep in mind,
It's
Wibbs,
better than
from
nothing.
Daniel,
Go on,
keep in
sorry.
mind, Wibbs, from Daniel's perspective, the Reverend has treated him better than his mom. Like, sure, yeah, we, the audience, know better, but that's what we call dramatic irony. From Daniel's perspective, the Reverend has treated him better than his mother. Why should he listen to his mother over her?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been calling out Daniel throughout the whole game for making really stupid decisions.
That's
yet
not what he's
this is
saying
where
at all.
you're
Like, you have a real
not what I'm saying.
you have a real problem understanding what the nuance of what people are saying.
you can't tempt
Yeah,
Daniel
like,
from
Dwibs.
his God.
Yeah, I call out Daniel for
He'll
stuff.
stay with
That
us.
doesn't mean I don't
His
acknowledge
true
that he
family.
still has a perspective of his
Never
own.
leave
Like,
him.
just because you dislike a character
Don't.
doesn't mean they're
there you
automatically
go.
all wrong.
Let me guess.
And again, he physically harms Sean. Like, I'm sorry. Am I really? How am I supposed to like Daniel or want him around at this point?
Okay, so I get it. Maybe she's good at brainwashing, but I'm sorry, just a few months apart was enough to break the brotherly bond enough for things to get this bad?
And look at this. Now it's up to Sean to try to verbally convince Daniel to come with us.
You're
Against
gonna bring back the verbal abuse mechanic.
surprisingly no. Well, remember this. That was the buyback 9. Don't not. So,
Man.
okay.
Beth won't take her to
So, and guess what? You know the henchman that just came in.
Who to trust.
Yeah.
Let's take a count of how many times Sean gets hit by that guy, because it's a lot. Just for fun, let's count how many times that henchman hits Sean in this scene.
When she was in danger.
What? Is that true? Reverend Mother?
No.
Reverend Mother.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you?
God is
You sound really convincing.
and to you.
Yeah, the actress is not particularly doing a great job. Maybe it's just poor direction, but the acting is
with
not
this-
great.
I mean, with this.
I don't
with
think
this
she's
script,
bad.
Yeah.
This is a toxic community. She's cutting everyone from the world. Keeping
Is
things secret.
She...
She wants to
Okay,
keep you to
sure, yeah.
herself.
She's keeping something secret, but I'm sorry, I feel like we needed to see more of this community in action to really get a proper full idea of it. Like, sure, yeah, there's the bit where she has her henchmen force them out, but as far as we know, it's just those two. And yeah,
I mean,
to
you
an
hurt your
extent,
brother
Jacob's
just then.
parents.
Yeah.
What do you think Dad would say if he saw us right now?
You know, it's hard for me to care because it's not like any of these will lead to Daniel staying with her.
I'm not ready, Sean.
And the church, for
What the hell?
whatever reason, catches fire.
Well, okay. There were candles there and they were lit,
No
so
one
they must have
is gonna
fallen
keep
over
her
and
away
this
from
is happening.
I said, stop.
Okay, so 1, I count that pushing as 1. Because that was genuinely something that hurts him. So I count that as 1.
I came all this way for you, and nobody will stop me. I'll even cross hell or whatever if I.
2.
Good lord, this dialogue.
Not just that. She's literally told her
The
henchman.
room's on fire.
She's literally told her henchman to beat the kid down. So 2.
To be a good brother.
I wonder if this will be a good drinking game.
Oh my god, we really are. Oh my god, we really are gonna make him punish Sean.
Yep.
Don't listen to him. He left you just like that harlot did. Shut him up.
No, he didn't. If anything, Daniel left him.
3, 4.
Let them do that.
Silly dudes, fire! Like,
There's a fire. Maybe we should leave. No.
What's with this chapter and people not noticing things on fire?
Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of hazardous things in this room too, in particular. Like,
Hey Karen, you wanna maybe do something? No?
also, I'm sorry, but how is Daniel not convinced at this point of the fact of his brother getting beat up?
Because he's stupid. Like I said, how am I supposed to like Daniel or even want him around at this point as a player?
Look,
Hold on. Now he pulls out his gun. 5.
He's my brother. You can burn down our church, but not our faith.
no, it just kind of caught fire. They didn't
I'm
do
sorry.
that.
No, I'm sorry. I am officially declaring this game a comedy. This is a comedy.
Well, it's like I said earlier, Shuri, there were those candles.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know for certain if those even are from the candles.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
Sorry.
For the sake of argument, let's just...
Show the candles on their side.
Fine, we'll concede that it's the candles, but... This is...
I don't know if it's the candles. Like,
Hold
even
on.
if it's
6,
candles.
7, 8...
Daniel.
Also,
Listen to him.
candles are not. No way the flames would spread that quickly from just candles.
Well, there's wood everywhere, and then there's the carpet floor.
I don't know what you're talking
Good kindling.
I don't know what you're talking about, Shiro. This is a great comedy.
Also, to the
Again and again.
game, I know you're
Is this-
trying to get me to care,
Has
but
this ligament been torn to pieces or something?
Shut him up now.
Okay?
really?
Shut him.
Just stop. If you want to kill
Whatever happened to thou shalt not kill?
I'm not afraid.
Do it.
That's a commandment we ignore.
Apparently.
Why shoot me in the face?
Now.
Oh, now you decide, maybe these people are bad.
Yeah, maybe murder isn't such a good idea.
Seriously.
Anyway, this place is filling up with some very toxic fumes and dangerous, flames. You wanna, get the fuck out?
I was so confused.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there was okay. There was that bit in the first Spider-Man movie where the Green Goblin and Spider-Man were literally in a burning building.
To be
they
fair,
were fine.
those guys had super genetics running through their blood that probably helped them with that. These people, for the most part, are... Where'd the Reverend and the other guy go?
The Reverend, I don't know where the henchman went,
there
but
she is.
the henchman though disappeared though. Seriously, he literally disappears.
Okay. All implications seem to be that they started the fire, so I guess we are to assume
hold on.
that the...
Wait, so you're basically gonna die here just to keep us in here? You're insane. Even
Can you just break a window?
She is cuckoo, yes.
Yes, ask Daniel to get her out of the way. No, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, Shiroi. Even by her own standards, this is ridiculous.
After all I did for you, you can still repent. I don't believe you anymore.
We did it, Shiroi. We defeated Christianity.
That is certainly a line.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. It was just too good.
Never mind. There's the other guy back there. So what happens if you choose to... So what happens if you choose to threaten her?
I'm sorry, Joe. I have to say this. Kyrie eleison, Kyrie eleison.
Okay.
Hunchback of Notre Dame when Paris is burning. Sorry.
Okay. So apparently the implication is that fire started from the other tower, since they insist that we started the fire, when, again, keep in mind, it was them that knocked over the candles, so... Yeah, somehow the fire spread, but... Okay, so what happens if you choose to threaten the Reverend? Is that, like, the morally wrong choice?
I
then?
think I never bothered that. I think you can kill her potentially, but as far as I can tell, she survives. Never mind. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Now the henchman suddenly shows up again. Where were you just earlier?
So yeah, she was prepared to die, and now she wants to go back after getting out.
You know what's funny, Jova? In the Wolf recap, next part, Sean portrays her as a coyote. That face.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say that he portrayed her as a snake.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Satan.
Again, how ironic if she were the snake, which is the embodiment of the devil in Genesis.
We did it, guys. We did it. We destroyed the evil religious commune.
But wait, hold on. But the Reverend is still alive. Can't she just start things up again?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it'd be a bit difficult to do that without a church.
Well, but that's the thing, though. She started this church from nothing. I'm pretty sure she can do that the same again in another place. Not to mention...
And that's just it? Like,
yep.
She's gone from the plot?
The game doesn't even give her a proper punishment for her evil. Like,
well, I mean, the church burned.
Okay. To be fair, if I remember correctly, I think the Fred and Lisbeth thing. Okay, let me double check real quick if they kill her. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, in regards to portraying her as a coyote, admittedly, in some cases, coyotes are seen as tricksters, whether good or bad. So I guess that's the reason for the animal motif. I mean, the thing is, Lisbeth feels like such a waste of a character. Well, yeah, big shock, a character feeling wasted, but like, they could have had actually a nuanced take with her just legit being a good person who wants to help, but nope, gotta make her evil. And then even as a villain, like, okay, the thing is, they have her make legit good points against the characters who can't really rebuff them often. And then the story just goes back to having her be the villain. It doesn't feel like it's properly done to give her nuance either, because again, she's cartoonishly evil up the wazoo. Like, now granted, again, there's that one little tidbit that designates that she is crazy, because, you know, her previous church threw her out. But again, like we mentioned, that's an easy blink or don't play this point and you'll miss it moment. So for some people, it could be just as good as not canon.
Basically, Jova, I'm seeing the endings of this episode. If Daniel is in low morality, as in we've been giving him, for example, if we allowed him to kill, for example, the cougar that killed Mushroom, he will try to kill Lisbeth. And we get a choice of either letting him or convincing him to spare her. So basically, if you want Lisbeth to die for her crimes, you have to let Daniel kill the cougar so he thinks that killing is fine.
You know, the thing is, for as much as I joke, Lisbeth could have actually been interesting as a villain. Someone who acts as a surrogate mother to Daniel and has nurtured him and whatnot. But the thing is, the chapter is done so quickly that we don't even get to properly build that up, and the final confrontation is just kind of rushed and, well, silly. You know, I think that's the most frustrating thing about this game. Even when you try to care about an arc, maybe a plight with a villain or whatnot, it's over so quickly that there's no point in caring.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, yeah, Lisbeth was evil and all, but now the plot's done with her.
Yep. Sure, what are your thoughts on all this?
Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous. Like, it went from 0 to 11. Like, this got resolved in an hour and a half. Like, I don't know. I'd be pretty miffed Like, I don't mind the chapter, the whole releasing games episodically kind of thing. Like, but if this is what I got after waiting for however long, I don't know, I'd not like that.
I'm guessing this is why there was a lot of criticism in regards to how sparse the content was despite the sporadic waits.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Hitman games, you know, the 2016 one, I mean, I don't think the gaps were as long between releases. Plus, you know, naturally, Hitman levels are massive with a lot of things to do in them. So,
Also, can I say something?
If we're comparing Square Enix episodic release games, yeah, this one's worse than that.
Well, obviously. Can I say something? Karen is so fucking... I love how Karen came here, specifically here, because I want to help Sean. I know, I'm kind of a crap mom and shit like that, but I still want to help you save Daniel. So, she tries to convince Daniel verbally, failing that, and then this guy starts beating the crap out of Sean, and she just stands there and does nothing. Hey, Daniel, maybe try to tackle the guy? Maybe? No? Do something? No? Like even when you're present, you're a shit mom.
I mean, the only thing you have is that you're not as bad as the creepy religious nutcase.
Congratulations, Karen. You're not as bad as the evil religious gay converting monster.
And yet, keep in mind, said villain constantly calls out our characters for crap that we ourselves have been calling them out for. So, writers, what are you trying to say exactly when the villain is making legit good points that we as well have against the characters that we're supposedly supposed to like?
I hope the point. I really hope it's not the writers trying to guilt trip the audience into thinking, wait a minute, you're agreeing and sympathizing with the crazy religious nutcase? You're just as bad as they are.
The sad thing is I've seen so many writers try and do that. Like, oh, right. The villain made this point, so clearly you're in the wrong.
Well, like that Danganronpa bit.
Yeah, where V3 tried to basically make everybody who...
guilt trip the audience. Okay.
How dare you buy our games, but that is a story for another day. For now, again, let's just focus on...
That is a story I still have yet to get to, so anyway.
One thing I will say, to finish off, is that in spite of what I've been doing the last few parts and questioning your guys' opinions, that doesn't make this case. Sorry, I'm thinking of
game. You mean?
That doesn't make this game's story or this chapter specifically good. I mean, it is possible to disagree with your friends on things about a shit plot.
Sure, I never said otherwise.
And there we are. I mean, it's hilarious in how crazy it is.
I know. That's why I don't like episode 5, because episode 5 in comparison is far more boring.
It's just I'm not quite sure that was what they were going for.
Yeah. Look.
The thing with Lisbeth is, 1 minute they're going, oh, she's totally this bad, a hypocrite, but then they have her actually willing to go the extra mile. It's like they couldn't even keep their villain motivations straight. Like, if I recall correctly, there's a hint that she herself takes medication despite not praising medicine, which I guess is supposed to show the hypocrisy of her as a preacher. But then we have bits where she hides the medical records, even though if her belief, and by extension her followers' belief, is so clear that, you know, she shouldn't need to hide them. And if she is supposedly just in this for the money and exploiting these people, then why would she go as far as to say, I'm taking you with me, in regards to being willing to die if she's just a charlatan out for money? Like, which is it, writers? Pick a villain focus. Commit. Or, you know, again, did we really need to have these people be evil?
All right.
Like, I get it. Conflict helps move the plot and all, but I don't know. Maybe a braver bout of just, you know, these people being nice could have been fine. I don't know.
All right, I feel like now I can say it. I'm just gonna say it. The Detroit Become Human is better than this, because first off, okay, even if first off, Detroit Become Human has Connor and Hank. That alone makes it better than this game. But even if it didn't, holy crap! You have to admit, Life is Strange 2 at this point is. I think at this point even David Cage would blush at this. Jesus.
I don't know if I'm ready to call it better or worse than Detroit Become Human, but I will say this. It's not a huge achievement to be better than this game.
Oh, no, it isn't. I'm just saying, like, just by virtue of Connor and Hank's existence, Detroit Become Human is already better than this.
Okay, I will give you this, that Detroit Become Human
password.
Yeah.
Like, at least Detroit Become Human did actually give us characters we could care for.
Like I said, Brian Deckard and Clancy Brown were genuinely great and had great chemistry, and most of the Connor and Hank chapters were actually really enjoyable, like we all said in our playthrough, right?
And you want to know the ironic thing? For as much as I don't care for her, Lizbeth is probably the closest thing to a legit entertaining character this game has. For how cartoonishly over-the-top, psychotic, apparently money-grubbing, and evil she is. Like, screw the subtlety. Like, the thing is, though, I know what the story is trying to do with her, which keeps me from complimenting her as an actual good villain, but she is probably the most entertaining one. And guys, I've cracked the code. Karen abandoning a loved one, practically using them. She's Rachel all grown up. Rachel just faked her death, and she even has, if I recall correctly, the same hair color as Rachel.
Yeah.
She faked her death, changed her hairdo, and then became a failed mother who also walked out on her kids just like she walked out on Chloe.
Unfortunately, that cannot work because we know that Rachel died while still young. So.
Wow, who knows? Maybe timey-wimey shenanigans allowed her to have a double to survive it. Speaking of which, if I recall correctly, in the final chapter... Wait, are we at the end of this chapter?
Yeah, we finished we finished episode 4. We only have one more episode left to go. Okay.
If I recall correctly, in the next chapter, we actually get to see someone from the first game.
Yes, in the next episode, we'll meet someone from the first game as a cameo. We'll also try to topple down Trump's wall. And we're... Yes, and we're also going to once again fight redneck racists because, you know, I mean, we haven't had that in like, what, 2 parts? I mean, we got, although to be fair, it's not in the next part that's going to happen, but...
They felt naked for a second there.
Alright, everybody. We've destroyed drugs in episode 3. We've destroyed religion in episode 4. Next up, we're going to destroy racism. We're going to tackle down Trump's wall, goddammit. Tune in for that.
Alright.
See you then.